Hello, everyone. My name is Don, the movie reviewer, and today we're going to be talking about Spider Man Homecoming. But before we do that, I want to give you a brief history lesson on my history with Spider Man films. Now, the first Spider Man movie by Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire, I didn't like that movie all that much. I thought it was extremely cheesy, and I'm not, really into cheesy movies. And honestly, Spider Man is like my least favorite superhero. And so Sam Raimi's Spider Man movie really didn't do anything to convert me. I thought William Dafoe in it was great. But other than that, too cheesy for me. Hanging upside down, kissing people, extremely cheesy. I don't care. Then you have Spider Man 2 by the same people, starring the same people. And I actually enjoyed Spider Man 2. I thought it was very entertaining, it was very engaging. The action scenes were very good. It was this overall good movie. I really enjoyed Sam Raimi's Spider Man 2. Then you have Spider Man 3 by the same people, starring the same people. And to me, I didn't hate it all that much, like everyone else did, because like I'm not a big Spider Man fan, anyways. So it's like, I didn't mind Topher Grace playing Eddie Brock as Venom. I actually thought Venom looked cool in the movie. The way he died was crap, but I thought the movie was okay. I mean, there's a couple problems in it. The whole dancing number bit, I really didn't mind it all that much. I don't love the movie. I don't hate the movie. I just think it's fine. It's not something I'd watch again, though. Then you have the reboot of Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man, and the director this time around is Mark Webb. And with the Amazing Spider-Man, this movie didn't do anything to convert me to be a Spider-Man fan either. Um, I saw it and I was like, whatever, I don't care. Like, I don't really remember anything from that movie. I thought I don't want to say it sucked or anything. I was just like, it's meh, I don't care. Then you have The Amazing Spider Man 2. Now, I was very excited for Amazing Spider Man 2 because I saw all the trailers. And I was like, honestly, I was saying to myself, after watching all the trailers for The Amazing Spider Man 2, I was saying to myself, this could be Spider Man's Dark Knight. I literally said that. And now I regret saying that because it's not. It's Batman and Robin. It's definitely a Batman and Robin movie. But to me, I didn't hate the fact that Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a Batman and Robin level kind of movie because Spider-Man, to me, I haven't read the comics, so I don't really know. All I know is like the animated TV show. The animated TV show is awesome, from the 90s. And so that's all I got as reference. And so watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm like, yeah, this is very goofy. This is very silly. Jamie Foxx plays like the Riddler type character. And it's just really, everything is just there's too many characters. Everything's just all over the place. But I kind of accepted that because I was like, okay, yeah, Spider-Man's cheesy, man. To me, Spider-Man is like the bottom of the barrel of superheroes. I don't care. So then watching all this stuff unfold, I was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But the ending of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is what sealed the deal for me. That stupid tease ending where he's fighting the rhino and then he throws the thing. They put that in the trailer. And I'm just like, dude, what the hell is this? I was so pissed at that ending that it just completely ruined my experience. We made Spider-Man 2. Fuck The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So yeah, that's my brief history with the Spider-Man movies. And so now let's get into Homecoming.
The rich and the powerful, they don't care about us. We have to pick up after them. We have to eat their table scraps.
These alien bastards are tough. You gotta use the stuff they use.
The world's changing.
It's time we change too.
So when's our next retreat?
What, next mission? We'll call you.
I think with a little more mentoring, could be a real asset to the team.
You're not gonna stop me.
Spider-Man Homecoming is about Peter Parker wanting to be more than what he is. This movie also serves as a brief brush-up on the Avengers in past movies and in the future. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil everything here because I don't care. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and this movie establishes that right from the start. There's no Uncle Ben or none of that crap because it's just as tired as Bruce Wayne losing his parents. This is the second reboot in this franchise, and so we should already know by now who Spider-Man is. I mean, even the movie expects you to know who Spider-Man is by this point, and if you don't, then why are you watching this, and where have you been? The movie starts off with Adrian Tumez, played by Michael Keaton. Tumez is a construction worker who just wants a fair shake in life like everybody else. I did like how this movie connected the events from the first Avengers all the way to Civil War. It showed the repercussions of the events involving the Avengers just like it did in Civil War. It's like watching an episode of TV and then they say, "Now make sure you tune in next week because we got more interesting things coming your way." The opening scene with Michael Keaton was supposed to make me feel like this guy was one of those old people who would say, "Well, back in my day, we didn't have this stupid face Tweety crap." The movie also shows that Michael Keaton is...
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
There's really nothing beyond that. He wants to help his family, but there's nothing wrong with them. His wife and his daughter seem perfectly normal, like neither one of them are sick or like have the McGregor syndrome or anything like that.
It's stage 1 of McGregor syndrome.
There's really no motivation for Michael Keaton to be doing any of the things that he is doing in this movie other than...
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Michael's Keaton Vulture sucks. He's one-dimensional, and what a coincidence, Peter Parker just so happens to be taking Vulture's daughter to Homecoming. What lazy screenwriting that is. Ned is the most annoying friend anyone could have. There are scenes in this movie where Peter and Ned are discussing Spider-Man related stuff in front of groups of people. It's even in the trailer.
Do you know him too? Yeah, stole his shield.
I don't know why I didn't notice that in the trailer. I mean, in the movie, I noticed it. I'm just slow, I guess. It's like everybody can hear you, right? But don't worry, because the movie solves that problem for you. Because Ned just spills some of the beans and says, "Hey, Parker knows Spider-Man." Okay, now Vulture knows who Spider-Man is. So why don't you just kill him? No, I'm going to use my jet suit and knock all the pillars down, and I'm just going to temporarily wound him.
What are you feeding him? Why don't you just kill him?
No, Scott, I have an even better idea. I'm going to place him in an easily escapable situation involving an overly elaborate and exotic death.
Why don't you just shoot him now? I mean, I'll go get a gun. We'll shoot him together. It'll be fun. Bang! Dead. Done.
There are lots of stupid, dumb decisions being made by characters in this movie. Like, for instance, Spider-Man changes his clothes in broad daylight for the whole city to see. But don't worry, it makes sense because he's reckless. He doesn't yet know.
With great power comes great responsibility.
So this is him going through his learning stages. Training wheels, as Stark likes to call it. I thought it was interesting that Parker was so obsessed with wanting to become an Avenger. It was his lifelong dream and goal. But by the end of it all, he learned that sometimes it's good just to keep your feet on the ground, not be so eager, and just be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The execution of Peter finding his inner self and knowing that it's important to learn how to be Spidey without the suit played out much like it did in M. Night Shyamalan's After Earth. Instead of having to battle the inner obstacle and defeat that with the inner self, it was defeated by the outer self. And all Peter Parker Spider-Man had to do was lift a fucking stupid rock. It was so dumb. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna lift this rock, man. I'm Spider-Man. I'm gonna lift this rock. I'm so strong. I'm Spider-Man. Woo! Now I'm cured." It's like every character problem in this movie was on a surface level, one-dimensional, and nothing else behind it. Vulture was one-dimensional. "I'm going to protect my family." Motherfucker, from what? Parker was one-dimensional. "I'm eager, I'm stubborn, I'm reckless, I need to learn my lesson, Okay, now I'm gonna lift this rock and then my self journey will be over, okay? Michael Keaton did a great job playing an old fart. I mean, that's all he is. He's one of those old farts who says, like, what? The Avengers? Well, back in my day. His character is one dimensional, he does nothing, and his overall motivation doesn't make any sense. Tom Holland. Loved his Spider-Man in Civil War. He's great as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and I can't say anything bad about this kid because none of this is his fault. I will say this though. Spider-Man's suit looks absolutely fake in this movie. It's like the effects people didn't have enough money to polish the Spidey suit in the way they wanted to. Cause I will tell you, man, most of the scenes with Spidey in his outfit look bad. The CGI for Spider-Man in this film was piss poor and it looks fake a majority of the time. The CGI on Spider-Man's suit looks terrible. It seems like the effects team didn't get enough time to render, polish, or clean up the CGI web slinger at all. Almost every action scene took me out of the movie because of how bad Spider-Man looked. But I will say this, none of the other CGI costumes bothered me or even looked bad to begin with. Like Iron Man's, suit of armor looks good, Vulture's suit looked good, and it's like, what happened? It's like, why does Spider-Man's suit, yeah, I admit it looks cool, but when it starts moving around and flying and all that stuff and doing the movements, it looks like a video game. It looks absolutely fake. When it's sitting still and you can tell it's Tom Holland in the suit, it looks great. And like when you see Iron Man just floating around, standing there, I'm like, yeah, his suit looks awesome. And I don't really see anything wrong with it. It kind of looks out of place, but it looks fine. And then with the Vulture, you can't really tell because he's constantly just flying around all over the place. I actually think that Marvel is raping Sony in this situation because, yeah, it just goes to prove that not everything that goes back to Marvel is gold. Yes, I understand that this is Spider-Man's movie, but it's more so about setting up the future of the MCU above everything else. This movie cannot stand on its own 2 feet if you haven't virtually seen any of the MCU movies like The Avengers or Civil War. And if you haven't seen those movies, then you shall be lost.
It is imperative you hang on my every word, or you shall be lost. It is imperative you buy my book, Organic Chemistry, The Impossible Discipline, by S.F. Collins, Who Is I?
If you don't watch any of the previous MCU movies to get up to speed on the events that surround this movie,
to be so lost, you'll never be found again.
overall, I give Spider-Man Homecoming an F. I didn't think this movie was funny. I didn't laugh. The CGI Spider-Man suit looks terrible. I like the sleek design of the suit, don't get me wrong. But I think the suit, it looks cool, but when it starts flying around and all the actions, the CGI, it looks terrible. The Vulture character is completely one note, one dimensional. I really didn't like any of the stuff he was doing. And all of the stuff he's doing is just narrowed down to,
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
oh yeah, I forgot. He's mad and he's not gonna take it anymore. And it's just like, that is so one note and one dimensional. And it just doesn't do anything for this movie. And it's just like, that's it? Spider-Man learns the lesson of staying in school, not being so eager and impatient, and also learning that
I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
But yeah, he just gets over it in a short scene that involves lifting some concrete, and I don't think that sells the point of what Tony was saying at all. Actually, I think it's quite the opposite. It's like, what a coincidence! Parker is taking Vulture's daughter to the homecoming dance. What are the odds? It's just lazy screenwriting. I don't care about anything in this movie. It gives me a headache, and the movie sucks, Everything is on a surface level with this movie. There's no depth to it at all. It's just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man movie with boring, one-note characters. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Spider-Man, 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 no!